Hello and welcome back to the Jersey Barrier. Ryan here, where we will go across the great state of Pennsylvania today from its second largest to largest city, passing through the capital along the way. Well, we will at least get pretty close to Philly, and if you're not paying attention, you could up in New Jersey. No one wants that. Alright, and we're off to a horrible start here after we left off in the 76 video. Absolutely hate that the Turnpike has Irwin twice on here. It's just pointless. I do like that they only have these exit names here in like above that top line, but they're only good if they're different than the controls. So here it's useless. Pick another control for 30 West, North Huntingdon, McKeesport, West Mifflin, anything else. Greensburg is good the other way, so here we are in Irwin still. Best we get for mileage signs on the Turnpike. I'll show some of these because they were so consistent with their placement, like right off the on-ramp on these exits. So real easy to find, and some of them are pretty interesting with how spread apart they are. Uh, so here in New Stanton, we get Breezewood and Harrisburg as a control. It's kind of funny that Breezewood ends up on the pull-through, and it's not terrible for how infamous the interchange is there. But 70 should be Baltimore. Wheeling is great for 70 West. I mean, you're probably not going to see as many people take it 70 West if they're going 76 East. But it's definitely reasonable to sign for 70 West there. And here is a funny exit sign that the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission puts up. There are just so little exits in central PA. 55 miles is the second exit from here in Donegal. So here we are approaching first of many tunnels, the Allegheny Mountain Tunnel. You got to remove your sunglasses in the tunnel. Here's the tunnel. Not really an impressive mountain over top of it, though. It will get more impressive as we get further into central PA. And here we skip ahead all the way up to Bedford. Of course, there's no direct interchange with 99. Why would you even ask that? It's the Turnpike. We don't do direct interchanges. The big one, the big infamous interchange is coming up in Breezewood. But first we pass the famous Midway Travel Plaza in Bedford, midway of the original Pennsylvania Turnpike. Now it's slightly closer to Ohio than Jersey, but it's kind of close to Midway. So here, this is how you use the exit location in the right way. This sign is pretty much perfect. The interchange is far from perfect, but this is how you sign it. We are in Breezewood, and yeah, we're going to Baltimore if we're taking this exit, or towards Baltimore at least. So well done PTC on this one. Similar to the 80 interchange in Ohio that we saw in the last one, making best case of a bad situation, even though they kind of created a bad situation, but that's a topic for another day. So good work here again. Of course, have to have the Breezewood billboards off to the side. Wouldn't mind Philly on the pull through, but Harrisburg is fine for now. We're still a decent distance from Harrisburg, so I don't mind it. And Baltimore, good again. So here's the shot from US 30 in Breezewood. You can see all that's going on, and this is headed towards the Turnpike. Overpasses up in the distance there. And we get signed Pittsburgh, Harrisburg for the Turnpike, which is correct. If they're not going to sign Philly, I mean, it's kind of weird when they sign Philly. I don't really know what distance they pick. Like, once you get past Harrisburg, obviously, but till then, I don't know. Harrisburg is the capital, so can't pick on it too much. Alright, so here you can see how crazy this interchange is. So much added mileage over having a direct interchange. This one's just especially bad. So here, this is how you would get on 70 right there. But no, we're gonna have to go all the way around here. And look at that. That's like an extra mile and a half at least. And especially that loop over on 30. Like it's so unnecessary. It's not good. But I mean the businesses in Breezewood are not gonna want it to ever change because it brings in so much truck traffic and tourist traffic because of how popular and useful this interchange is. for travelers. So yeah, that's Breezewood. So another point I want to make here in Breezewood, if you look at the zoomed in aerial, you can see the start of the abandoned PA Turnpike right in between 70 and 30 off to the right side here. You see the little hiker icon with the Rays Hill and Sidling Hill tunnels being deemed too expensive to convert to 4 lanes from 2 in the original PA Turnpike, and those tunnels as well as the road are still there, not maintained by PennDOT or PTC anymore, but their goal is to turn it into like an official biking trail. Right now it's not official, it's kind of go enter at your own risk. It is open to the public, but at your own risk. This is one of the tunnels I am actually going to visit here this coming weekend, so a cool video will be coming out soon for that. Not sure when, but I am going this weekend, so it will be in the coming weeks for sure. The new route for the turnpike goes over the mountains, gets really high up quick, as you can see from the fog sign. And here's our second tunnel, Tuscarora Mountain. Nice color of the tunnel, to be honest, and we're getting slightly bigger mountains. And we get the twin tunnels, Katanity and Blue. And that's a big mountain, Blue Mountain. And here's a sign that you get before all the tunnels. Very restrictive, which is why, or one of the reasons why you usually don't get too many trucks on the turnpike. That and the tolls. Not sure why the font on Gettysburg Pike is bigger here. I don't know what it replaced. I couldn't find it in historical. Carlisle coming up though, 81. And here is another interstate junction with no direct interchange. And this is a huge junction coming the other way at least. Not as big this way, same thing with 70. It's just the direction they're pointed in makes it less useful. Exit name here should be Middlesex, or even better, keep it as Carlisle and switch Carlisle with Chambersburg, or dare I say Hagerstown? No, that's way too much to ask. Way too much to ask. Signing Maryland down. Yeah, what am I talking about? So here, coming both ways on here. Coming from the east, you gotta do this whole loop-de-loop, which of course you should just be able to, directly intersect 81 there, but no, you gotta go off the highway for like a mile on to Route 11. Coming up 81 and trying to get back on East 76 is even worse. Usually when I drive this and trying to go east on the turnpike, you go up and then take like 83 through Harrisburg, because that's quicker than having to deal with all this. Coming from the other way, trying to go on to South 81. Not as bad, but pretty bad. And going to West 76 off 81 North. Not as bad as the eastbound side, but I mean, it's still so unnecessary. With two-digit interstates here, there's got to be a better solution. And here is going under 81 after the exit for it, of course. And we're definitely getting out of the mountains a little bit now. As you can see, it's pretty flat out here. And the great town of York, Baltimore at Harrisburg West. Not sure where we're censoring the exit speed either. Yeah. Here we are crossing over the Susquehanna here in Harrisburg, the state capital and 9th largest city in Pennsylvania. Finally get Philly on the sign. Big interchange here, and it's pretty well signed. Of course, PennDOT is going to make I-283 and PA-283 on the same exit. Hershey for 283, that's fine. Hershey's a different discussion because it's not a huge place, but of course, well known for its chocolate. And mileage sign past Harrisburg, we get Lancaster, Lebanon, and Reading. First Reading exit, the one you would take eastbound, westbound, you would take it at mile marker 298, which is the next exit in Morgantown. Exit name here should be Reamstown or Denver. We're not really particularly anywhere close to Reading. Definitely goes to Reading, but especially because there's two running exits. It's too confusing. Make it Denver or Reamstown. And here, Morgantown and Downingtown on the sign from Ephrata. And here, exit name should be Morgantown. We're definitely Morgantown. But again, please put something else for 23. Elverson is on 23 right down the road. Or you could even go Phoenixville or Royersford, Spring City. For eastbound 76 at least. Doesn't make much sense going the other way. But I'm saying, again, I like the idea of the exit name, but only if it's done right. And putting the same town up there twice is useless. So put something else on there. And here we are starting to get into far northwest Philly suburbs, and we get an exit done right. Pottstown doesn't make as much sense here. Probably would have taken 23 at the last exit and take it up to Pottstown, but it's fine. If I was really picky, I would say put Exton up on there for 2 southbound controls on 100, since you don't really want to take this one north because the last exit would have been faster. Going westbound, this is fine, but I'm going to say it's fine on this one too. Here, up a ways, we are at the Schuylkill Expressway exit. Should be KOP or Norristown instead of Valley Forge. Valley Forge is not really a place, it's just the National Historical Park, which is well known. I'm fine with the exit name being Valley Forge, but please, KOP or Norristown. Norristown's huge, county seat of Montgomery County, almost 1 million people in Montgomery County. So yeah, redoing this whole portion of the turnpike though, they're putting in lane expansions, so doubt a 276 control was high on the priority list. But at this point, it should be New Jersey or something like that. You can go more local because now you have 3-digit interstate instead of a 2. I want to make clear, this is the exit you take to Philly. The only other somewhat logical way, if you were on 76 the whole time, is going 476 at the next exit. But the sign should say this one, as it is much more direct to the city of Philadelphia. You'd likely take 476 to Sports Complex or the airport, but that's too complicated to sign from 30 miles away. So this is the Philly exit. So yeah, it's a big one. So pretty solid here at the 476 interchange. Chester is only the debatable one, and 476 does end there, so I'm not going to pick on it too much. As I just said, you can't expect them to sign Philly because the last exit is the ideal way, on paper at least. The Schuylkill can be a monster if you've never driven it, and even if you have, it's quite an experience. Just past the Ambler exit, we're getting closer distance between the two exits, as we're definitely in suburban Philly now. So nice big pull through here for New Jersey. At this point should be New York, as in New York City. I get that they just want to be directional, but everyone should know that you have to go through Jersey to get to New York City. It's a pretty big exit for 611 here as well. Yeah, this is a huge exit as well for 95 South. Not sure how there's not a pull through for 276, but we'll carry on. And here is the final exit on the turnpike. Weird exit name. Delaware Valley usually implies the entire Philly metro area, but you can see there's been some shifting of route designations, as it used to have turnpike mile numbers, which would have been 358, but now it follows 95 numbers, as we are going to turn into 95 right before this exit. And the receipt, 276 is ending and 95 beginning just before Levittown. And here we are on 95, but still the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and we get a Jersey Turnpike logo. So thanks, PTC. Should have been New York from KOP, but I'll take it. They did put New York on a sign just before the end. And we're crossing Delaware River. The PA Turnpike ends right at that line, you see. But we will continue just a bit till we get to the real Jersey Turnpike. This is the Jersey Turnpike extension. Welcome to New Jersey. There's nothing welcoming about this sign. I absolutely despise seeing it because I know the next 2 hours, up to New York State or New York City, they're not going to be fun. And the Jersey Turnpike begins. We get New York, and you can go south on the Jersey Turnpike, but why? So yeah, okay. What did the PTC sign? Well, as you saw, not much. Going eastbound, Harrisburg, Philly, Jersey, and one sign for New York City. Going west, it is worse, as they signed Valley Forge and Plymouth Meeting, which is just where it's becoming 76 again. We'll touch on that at the next one. Harrisburg and Pittsburgh were signed the rest of the way, though, which is perfectly acceptable. So for eastbound, I do agree with what they do. I would just throw DC on the Breezewood junction, and definitely don't sign Breezewood. Make it the exit name. Don't put it on pull through. Once you get past that, I think Philly should be on the sign with secondaries of Harrisburg, Reading. Which Harrisburg, of course, is the capital. Reading is the fourth largest city in the state. Once it turned into 276, I would sign New York, and you can put Levittown up there as a secondary. Going west, Philly should be there very briefly until we leave from 95 and become 276 again. And then Norristown back until you meet up with 76. From there, Harrisburg and Pittsburgh with secondaries for Reading and Lancaster, which are both larger than Harrisburg, by the way. Then junction points with 81 and 70, you can put some longer distance controls. Hagerstown and Wheeling are the first sizable enough cities for either route. Considered, putting Roanoke or Columbus up there, respectively, but that assumes a little too much, and I wouldn't mind for 81 Chambersburg or something like that, but Hagerstown would be the best. Alright, so on the whole of 76, a few things changed. We didn't get quite to the end of 76, but it splits right there when the Turnpike becomes 276 around KOP, and just continues as a local highway down to Philly. Only notable place it passes through directly is Conshohocken, which can be a secondary. So that's all that really changed for eastbound. The rest, Akron, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and Philly, all the same. Out of the city, going westbound, sign it for Norristown. Like I said with the Turnpike, Norristown, huge suburb, county seat, and biggest non-township municipality in Montgomery County. And the rest of westbound stays relatively the same. I did notice when combining the controls that signing Columbus there gets a little tricky with the potential mileage sign. If you're on the PA Turnpike, roundabout Bedford or somewhere like that, you take the exit toward Wheeling to continue on 70, and that'll get you to Columbus faster. Where I'm saying to sign it is just before Akron, obviously the fastest way from there. So the mileage sign up here is distance from Harrisburg, 76 to 70 at the junction New Stanton. But man, these would be some great mileage signs. I don't think we'll ever see something like that, especially on the Turnpike, where they don't even have them to begin with. But, yep, that's all I have for you this week, and stay on the lookout for a video at the abandoned Turnpike, and enjoy back-to-back videos on US 35 in the coming weeks. Safe travels along our interstates in the coming week for Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.